take whatever. Oh, my hand. That's so weird. My camera is broken, obviously. So this week for my art practice, this past weekend I painted some peaches on a branch just because I felt like it. And so I decided to do it again, but this time I'm using the Himi Gouache. What I did, I think I painted them Saturday. What I did for the ones that I painted before, I'm looking at it right now, that's why I'm not looking. Stop looking at it. I used the Winsor Newton gouache and I mixed all my colors up. And so I thought it'd be interesting to see, like, I don't know, the difference of painting the same thing but having all these different colors available to me, because I think it's the 24 colors for the Himi gouache. And so yeah, I'm gonna try that and see how I like it. My palette is very stained here, so please ignore that. I am working on getting a new one, hopefully soon. For these paintings, I'm just going to be working in Strathmore's 200 series mixed media sketchbook. Also, I would just like to add that I am still a beginner when it comes to gouache, and I'm still learning how to paint and how to use gouache. So I'm sure there's many things I could be doing better in this video. So if anyone does have any tips, or constructive criticism, that would be greatly appreciated. For this first painting, I am using the Winsor Newton gouache. I'm just using their primary kit, which includes primary blue, primary yellow, primary red, zinc white, and ivory black. Obviously, the Winsor Newton gouache is going to work better compared to the Himi since it is artist grade versus student grade, but I'm going to try to ignore that the best that I can and just see it in terms of, do I like mixing my own colors and having just like a limited amount, or do I like having more colors available to me? The reason why I really wanted to test this out is because I started painting with Himi Gouache and I got the Winsor Newton gouache later when it was on sale. After trying the Winsor Newton gouache, I fell in love with it. It's so much easier to work with, it's more creamy and smooth, and just overall looks better than Himi. And it's just a better experience, honestly. And when I started looking at getting more colors for the Winsor Newton gouache, I got overwhelmed because there are so many colors to choose from, and it is a little pricey. So I started to wonder, do I really need all these colors, or can I just stick with these primary colors? And hence this experiment. Like I just mentioned, I started with using the Himi gouache, and I enjoyed using it, but there was something about it that did always frustrate me, other than it being student lower quality gouache. But I couldn't like figure out like what else was irritating me, I guess. I don't know, irritating is not the right word either. Something was just bothering me about using this paint. And doing this little experiment made me realize that it's because of just having too many colors in front of me. With the Winsor Newton gouache, I feel like I have more control over the color, and it just helps the artwork stay more cohesive when using a limited amount of colors. But with having so many colors in front of me with the Himi, I just felt really overwhelmed. Like, I think with the with the kit that I have. I think there's 4 or 5 different grains in it if I'm remembering correctly. And I just remember like when trying to paint the leaves, I'm just like, which one am I gonna go with? There's so many that I can choose from, and yeah, it was just really overwhelming. Whereas with the Winsor Newton, like, it was more intuitive, and I just like, that's what I'm looking for. It's more intuitive when having to mix my own colors versus like having all these different shades in front of me. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But of course, in some cases, the Himi is good, especially for some of the brighter colors or the more saturated pinks, because those are more difficult to mix. For this particular painting, it was a bit of a con. When painting the leaves, they came out a really bright green, and it just looked fake and not natural, which it doesn't look bad. I just didn't prefer it for this painting, and I definitely could have mixed it to look a bit more natural, like how I did with the Winsor Newton, but I just didn't. And of course, Himi is also really good for practicing, and if I just want to paint something real quick, all I have to do is open up the lid, and of course, the price, you can't really beat the price. Overall, this was not a very fair experiment since I am using 2 different qualities of paint. Ideally, I would have used either both student or both artist grade, but like I said before, I don't want to spend any more money than I have to since gouache is a little bit pricey. I think maybe if I pulled out the primary colors from the Himi Gouache and tried painting like that, I would like it a little bit more, and I'll have to try that one day. The results of this experiment is that I do prefer to mix my own colors, and I actually really enjoy it, and I do not need to buy all the other Winsor Newton gouache. Do I want to? Yeah. Maybe one day. If you got this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I truly, really do appreciate it, especially since I know that this is definitely not the most entertaining, or the quality isn't that great. But it is my first video, and now I can start improving and hopefully get better with my video making skills. Yeah, thank you so much again, and I hope you have a lovely day.